What is up, everybody? It's Wick here, and been getting a lot of questions about Amazon sales rank, and I figured I'd answer a little bit, talk about how I think about Amazon sales rank and how I incorporate it into my selling. There's a lot of videos and information out on Amazon sales rank, so if you don't find what you're looking for here, just do some searches. You should be able to find it. A lot of people out there are trying to sell information on Amazon sales rank. No point in paying for it. It's very simple to learn about. Here are some things about sales rank you should probably know if you're not familiar with it at all. Each category is different and has a separate sales rank. So toys and video games are going to have a different sales rank. It's going to mean completely different things. A sales rank you might buy for in toys, you wouldn't buy for in video games because it would be ludicrously high. So it's something you're going to have to learn as you go. But the lower the rank, the better an item is selling in that category. Usually, just because the rank is low doesn't necessarily mean that that item is going to sell. There's other factors, and we'll get more into that later. The BSR, you may see this often. It's the best sellers rank, updates every hour, and can determine what products show up first in searches. Very important when people are searching for a product. Amazon's going to show the best ranked product, and that can be because of reviews and just popularity in sales. So if you're a private label seller or something of the such, you definitely want to be as high as possible because you want to be on the first. Can you imagine having a popular product and every time somebody searches for it, it's the first one that shows up? You're going to make a killing. So you want to be close to that first top 10 products as possible. And if you're doing the arbitrage or selling thrift store items even, the better products you find that can be shown, you're obviously going to sell better. Sales rank is just a snapshot and should not be the only factor when deciding to sell an item. People weigh too much into the sales rank, I think, and they think it's just some magical map where they see a good sales rank and that's just saying, hey, buy this, hey, not. Because when you're making buying decisions, you want it to be easy, but it's not ever really necessarily easy. There's always other factors to take into account, and I'll talk about those here in a bit. Some categories have subcategories, and it can be confusing. If you look at like the electronic category, it can break off into like home entertainment and other stuff, and each subcategory means something different. And I've been selling for over 5 years now, and I still am confused about some of the subcategories. But over time, you gain experience like I have, and you just kind of know what a rank is, and just looking at the listing, if it's going to be a good seller. All of this rank stuff is kind of pointless unless you have the buy box. What I mean by this is, say you find a product, and I'll give an example. This Rainbird product that I found and I was selling had a great rank. I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000 in lawn and garden, and had a lot of great reviews. But here's the thing, there were other sellers that were selling it, and they had, you know, dozens if not hundreds of these. So even though the rank was good, they had their price, they had the buy box. Therefore, unless you priced it lower than them, you probably wasn't gonna get the buy box. And the buy box is weird. Like sometimes you can even price it lower than that person, and it will still show that seller. And basically, the buy box means when somebody goes to the listing page, it shows you as a seller and your price. And a lot of times, if you're a seller, or if you're a purchaser or buyer, remember when you're shopping on Amazon to always check to see who has the lowest price, because Amazon may be showing you a much higher price, and a lot of people don't know that, or a lot of people don't even care really, and they just go buy the product and it's higher. So rank and selling everything's pretty pointless unless you have the buy box. You need to look at the whole picture with rank. So you need to look at, when you're looking up a product, and I'll give some examples later, you look up sales rank, look at that. Look at the price, the difference between FBA and merchant sellers. If you got an FBA seller selling an item for $50 and a merchant seller selling it for 15, that's a really big gap. And You can sell things FBA much higher than merchant fulfilled, and usually they'll still give the buy box to the FBA seller, and you can make good profit. But sometimes it gets too much of a gap, like an unrealistic gap. You just kind of have to feel it out, and you can know if that price and the rank, because even once it gets that high of a difference, people will actually start buying more merchant than FBA. You can still do pretty well, but it's such a balancing game. How many FBA sellers are there? You can have a number one ranked product, but if there's 300 other people selling it and you're all competing for the price, doesn't mean you're ever going to sell yours at a profitable price. So it's another thing you have to factor in. How many merchant sellers? It goes the same with FBA. If there's 2 FBA sellers and there's still 100 merchant sellers, if you gotta then look at the price and see if it's there's that gap, or if you can price competitively with the merchant sellers. So there's that. You need to kind of look at reviews. Reviews don't mean everything, just like sales rank doesn't mean everything. So are the reviews poor? Are there a lot of reviews? If you look at a product that has a pretty high rank and it has no reviews, then you can bet that rank is not going to get better. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. If you got 1 star and there's like 10 reviews, maybe you don't want to sell that product because you can get returns. If there's a lot of reviews and the rank's kind of high and you're the only seller, then maybe you want to buy that product if you're getting it at a good price. So you see what I mean by you got to factor in a lot of things. You got to be looking at so much, and sales rank is just a piece of it. You look and see if the product's seasonal. If you're trying to sell Christmas lights in July, Christmas trees in July, the rank may be like 3 million in, say, home, but that 3 million rank in home, that still may be a good product. But when you sell it in December, that could be like a 100,000 rank in home or something, and sell quite well. You also need to pay attention, like it being fourth quarter, you're going to get more sales in general. So if a rank's slightly too high, maybe you'll want to make an exception if you're getting good profit, just because fourth quarter is around the corner. And then the quality of listing, since on Amazon someone puts a listing up of a new product, everyone has to share that listing. So if the seller that put it up didn't put a good picture, didn't put good info, etc., then you're not going to get as many sales, and that can affect sales rank and how many people are buying it, and if you're going to get bad feedback or bad reviews. And it's a pain to get Amazon to try to change this stuff if something's wrong. It really is. So sometimes I opt just not to sell a product if it's the quality of the listing is just that bad. So here's some examples of some categories. If you want like a full list of something like this, you can do a Google search. There's all kinds of charts and stuff out there. But basically how sales rank works, you take all the products in a category, and then you see here in appliances, there's one, and these are all estimated. I just kind of estimated it up. I don't know if the 1% and 10% are 100% accurate, because I kind of just estimated real quick, but you get the general idea. 1.3 million total products in appliances. The top 1%, which is a great percent to sell in, probably should be buying almost everything if you was just factoring in rank when it's in the 1%. 13,000, you see the top 10%. A lot of sellers don't like to go out of the top 10%. Some categories, I don't like to go out of the top 10%, but some categories I will. So it's just, you just really need to start selling, start getting experience. You can kind of use like this as a guideline at first, and then maybe every now and then experiment with certain products that you come across. But if you look in, say, books here, there's 62,500,000 products. So a rank of 625,000 is still in the top 1%. Now, obviously, a rank of 10,000 is going to sell much quicker than 625,000, even though it's considered in the top 1%. And a book that's ranked 625,000 may take up to 6 months to sell, depending on how many other sellers are in there, if you have the buy box, the price, and all that stuff I was just talking about. So if I found a book I paid $2 for, and my profit would be $5, and the rank was 625,000, and there was 10 other FBA sellers, I probably wouldn't buy it, because there's a good chance that the price is going to get knocked down because there's other sellers competing, and it's not like a top, I guess, a true top 1% rank, if you get what I'm saying. And here's an example of 6,245,000. I would never buy a book at that rank unless, say, I paid a quarter for it at a garage sale and it had 10 5-star reviews and it was selling for $100. And then that quarter risk to make $100 with that high rank would be worth it. I wouldn't be buying dollar books, to flip, make $2 or $3 at that kind of rank. So return on investment, I guess, is another thing you need to be looking at. And if you don't know with FBA, merchant's different. You can buy something and just hold it, But if you do that with FBA, you have to pay long-term storage fees, and you don't want to be doing that. I think, what is it, after 3 months? No, 6 months, you start doing that. I have it set to automatically ship back all my products that are going to be incurring long-term storage fees, because they don't sell in 6 months. I probably don't want to keep them there. The glory days, you could keep just one of, if you had just one of the product, you could keep it on FBA forever without any extra fees. Those were the good days. But you can just see here, like 36,500,000 electronics. But when you look at subcategories like home improvement, or not home improvement, but home entertainment may have a 365,000 item, but that doesn't necessarily fall in electronics. Like I said, it's very confusing. But that's why you shouldn't go just off of rank. You see grocery is, I'm trying to scroll down, I can't, there's no scrolling. But grocery, top 1%, 10,000, you see 101. You look down here at toys here, like you could buy a product. I buy things in toys all the time that's higher than 613,000. If I believe I can sell it, usually I wait and send those in around fourth quarter, because then the rank's better. People might buy them as gifts. There's a lot more traffic. So a rank of 613,000, it's not going to be so bad as, maybe holding something, in May or something. And you can see, like, if you're just looking at rank here, top 10% or top 1%, 61,388 in toys. But that in video games would be well above the 10%, and it would be terrible. So you just have to learn each category. This is only a few of the categories in Amazon. I wasn't going to just put them all on here, but I want to give you a general idea. If you're looking for a chart like this, you can use as a guide. Just do a Google search for Amazon Sales Rank Chart 2018, and you can just kind of download the PDF and kind of use that as a guide. I know I done that when I first started. But remember, it's just a guide. It's not the absolute law on what you should be buying. So let's go over some examples here. We got Jumbo Sequence Box Edition, and ignore the fulfillment by Amazon required. This is what happens in fourth quarter. That's just saying that you can't sell this merchant fulfilled anymore, that it has to be sent FBA. They usually do that with toys and games this time of year. So yeah, I'll be sending all my stuff FBA, so it's nothing I have to worry about, but just that's why that's there if you're curious. So here we are. If I would have checked this, I would have seen the rank up here, 7,293 in toys. That is good, because if you look back here in the guidelines, that is well within the 1%. So that's going to sell really quick if you have the buy box and all the other factors are in. So we're looking here. Here's something I actually bought. I bought this back in like February or March. It was on clearance. I think I paid $5 for it. So if you look here, paying $5, you have 10 other FBA sellers. You can see they're actually kind of competing. Amazon's in at $41.19. So if I was sending this in, I'll probably just send it in at like maybe $39.99 or something like that. And you'd make about $22, $23 after the $5 purchase there. As you see, where you pay $11.67 in FBA fees, and I already have a quarter per pound estimated in that for shipping to Amazon, because that's what it averages out to. You look up here at the reviews, great product. You're not going to have any issues with it. Of course, I can't look at the actual listing. The picture looks great, but we don't know about the information. We would assume it's pretty good because of the rank. So that's definitely a product that you would want to purchase at $5 because you'd be making a great return. And I did purchase 2 or 3 of these. I think that's all they had. Here's another one in the toy category. You're looking at this. This is 195,546 in toys. And this is just, here's another thing with rank. If, say you look up something, you're like, this has a pretty good rank. That could be just because someone had just bought it that day, like 10 minutes before you looked at it, and the rank's low now. But the average rank may be like in the millions. So I've seen that happen before. But if you're looking at all the other factors, then it shouldn't matter that much. So this Miss Pac-Man game here I sold before. You can see new here is $159.98. Mine was collectible. I should have just took a screenshot of this on collectible. It's $30 some. Let's just say we're buying it new. You can see here there's 3 FBA offers, $159.98. You look at the new offers from merchants. There's $114.99 is that what they're selling it for. So there's a pretty big gap there. And a product like this, I would still price at $159.98. Now you have to remember, when you price this at $159.98, the ranks medium is pretty good in toys, definitely worth buying. But you got to remember, people are going to be buying from the merchant side and the FBA side because the FBA or the merchant's so much lower. So sure, it's going to be selling fairly often, but it doesn't mean yours is going to sell. It means that people are going to be buying the merchants and the other FBA sellers. So, and people are going to be buying the collectible ones too. So it doesn't distinguish between new and, used items. So people may be buying a ton of collectible and not a lot of new ones. So you see what I'm saying? By just rank, you just can't go by. You really have to go by built up experience. And it's fine to use rank as a guideline. But use everything else and use that knowledge as well. Here's some micro cassettes, number 5 in electronics, which seems pretty good. This could be in a subcategory and it just may not be disclosing that information. Usually, even in a subcategory, a number 5 in electronics is pretty good. You can look here. FBA sellers are selling for $30.30. Another big gap, and it's just like the Miss Pac-Man. Probably not too many people are buying these used. And there's probably more people buying a merchant fulfilled. If, say, a company needs this, they're just like, we need some microcassettes. They jump on Amazon. The buy box is $30.30. They make the purchase. Somebody like me would go on there and be like, ooh, $30.30. And they would look at the other sellers and say, oh, I'm just going to buy from them. It's $18.98 shipped free. So, yeah, just remember that kind of stuff affects rank. I'd still buy these all day long, though, at the right price. Here's something I sold a long time ago. This is a Boyd's Bear I picked up at Goodwill, and I don't remember what the rank was when I bought it. You can see here, there's no reviews for it. It's not a popular product. There's one seller. He's got his at $97.49. If I found this new with tags, I can't remember if it was in a box or not. I would still buy this at the rank of 2.6 million. Normally you would never want to do that because, well, I'm not going to go back to that page, but I think the cap was like 665,000 for the top 10% of products. So this is way out there, but I can tell you why the rank is so high on this, and that's because there's one merchant seller and they got it grossly overpriced. So if you came in, price this at $24.99, something like that, maybe a little bit higher, you can do your research what it's actually worth, then that's going to improve the rank. It's going to get in front of people's eyes. There's going to be an FBA offer, so Amazon's that's going to improve the rank alone, just having an FBA offer. And you could probably get a sale. Especially, I would probably hold this to fourth quarter and try to sell it around Christmas, and I would still send it in. Take a chance. Unless, I paid like $10 for it, or that's what it was priced at, then I might not buy it. So here's something I actually did not buy not too long ago. This had a high rank in toys. Has the good reviews, and 2 of them. and it does sell. It looks like it's selling slow, but you can see the merchant seller is in at $13.84, and there's 5 of them. FBA at $24.95. If the FBA wasn't there already, I might have bought it. I believe this was like $5 at a Goodwill, and if you decided to buy this, it wouldn't be bad. It's just you could sell it, but you don't know. Especially on Christmas, you could sell it. It's just something that I was really on the fence for, and I eventually just made the decision. I think the shrink wrap may have been torn too, or something like that, and you're just like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm probably not going to be able to make that much money. It might sit. It might get returned. So, because it has a VHS in it, I believe it had a VHS in it. Maybe it's just the audio one. I think there's a VHS version. Anyway, with the VHS, VHS could already be bad because they can go bad just with age. So there was a kind of a decent amount of a higher chance that it could be returned. So this is just something I opted not to buy. And if somebody else opted to buy it, I wouldn't say, hey, you shouldn't buy that, because it's like, hey, if you take the risk, you can probably make some money. And here is a Sony VCR. Here's one that's $394,000 in home entertainment, and you can see the pictures. Not a professional picture. It's bad. You got a decent amount of FBA sellers and a decent amount of merchant. You can see how they're priced the same. That kind of indicates that it's not selling too well. So no new ones. Usually I sell these used, but there's also no reviews, so it's not selling hot enough that there's reviews. Come really slow on Amazon, so if you see a decent amount of reviews, that means it's probably sold dozens of products, hundreds of products, depending on how many reviews. So this is something I probably would pass on for Amazon. You just don't want to fight these people. There's so many VCRs and stuff on Amazon that they're probably going to buy the better brands with the better pictures. And honestly, if you say you got this for $2, had the remote, and you wanted to send it in, it's one of those products again that you could send in. The rank's not so atrocious, the listing's not god awful. Again, it comes down to personal preference, but you can just use this information. This is not something that you're just going to sell really quick. If it had no FBA sellers, then yeah, I would have no problem buying this. But I hope this kind of helps you understand how I think and how a lot of other sellers think, I would imagine. Because I see so many people asking all the time in comments, what's a good sales rank that I should be buying things? And they're not even like understanding that it's category dependent, and it's dependent on so many things. So really the easiest way is just to start doing it and just start taking mental notes of what works and what doesn't. That's what I've done. And I know that's scary to do, and that's why it's good to have that chart as a rank guideline and the reviews as a guideline. And when you start out, just only be buying the good stuff. Like this, just don't worry about it. Don't buy it. Wait until you're more established and can make a more educated decision. So I'm just going to end with rank is just a guideline, and it's not absolute. Just trying to burn that into people's minds. And I hope this video helps with rank, and I hope I didn't ramble too much. I'm looking at how long this video is right now, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't want it to be that long. But I hope it's some knowledge, and I hope it answers some of your questions. Give it a thumbs up, and if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them. YouTube is very bad at alerting me when I have new comments, especially if this video has been out for a while. I might not even see it. Don't forget to subscribe to watch my reselling adventures. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time.